Hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet Lakers, driven by your Southern California Honda dealers. I'm Chris McGee, James Worthy, Robert Ory, Allie Clifton is here. We got Brezen Trudell handling the post-game interview duties. The Lakers take the series lead 2-1. Despite the 20 turnovers and just shooting 25% from three, the Lakers roll to a 14-point win, guys, and they do it with their defense. They hold the Suns to just 35 total points in the second and third quarter combined, and to 95 total. Big game, James. It's been their calling card all year, and tonight it was special.
Yeah, there's only one thing that'll cover up for mistakes. You know, offense can't cover up for mistakes, only defense, and that's what kept them in touch. Both teams turned the ball over. I think 20 times for the Lakers. I don't know, 18 for the Suns or vice versa. But the defense shutting down, I think, doing a good job on Booker, not letting Bridges get going. Crowder, you know, they kept their players under control with the defense early in the game. So they got to knock down some shots and not turn the ball over. But for the most part, the defense took care of it tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback off of James. I think what KCP did on Booker was amazing. I hope he's going to be healthy for the next game. But he came out, he was hawking him, he was making him work for his shots. And then on the other end, I think Vogel did a great job about putting Booker in the pick and roll, because when Booker's have to work defensively, that kind of takes his legs away from him on offensive end.
You mentioned KCP. Hopefully we get an update. And hopefully he is okay, because outstanding job defensively. I'm glad you brought that up. And let's go back to Staples. Another big game. Dennis Schroeder is with Mike Cottrell.
All right, Dennis, things got a little interesting down the stretch. What was the key for you guys to just put the game on ice and get out of here with a win 2-1 in the series?
I mean, it's the playoffs, you know. Trash talks happen. That's a part of the game. But I think we stayed focused, you know, kept our head. Team chemistry, you know, we talk to each other, stay calm, execute, you know, down the stretch, and that's what we did. That was the game.
Dennis, I know you like a physical battle.
Yes.
Phoenix is bringing it. How does that play into the style that you guys want to play?
I love it, man. I played with CP in OKC. We was better in the bubble, so I kind of love that, you know, to get into it. Referees not always, you know, letting it go, but I love it. It's a part of the game, and it's a little chippiness, you know, still fair. I mean, that last play wasn't fair, but he got thrown out, so they took care of it. But end of the day, I love to compete.
What did you think about the second half and really into the second quarter, too, the defense you guys played, and then ultimately once LeBron and AD put the foot on the pedal and you guys got that run?
I mean, that was getting defensive stops, you know. After we got the rebound, we ran, everybody down the floor. LeBron James in the third quarter like a beast, going to the rim, putting pressure on him. AD did AD things, so it's a start to click, you know. We just got to keep, you know, getting better every day. Keep working on some things. You know, you're going to watch film tomorrow where we can improve, and then keep going.
Dennis, final thing for you. First time in 8 years there's been a playoff game in this building for the Lakers. What was that like, feeding off the crowd tonight?
And that was the main thing. I mean, after 8 years, you know, to feel that feel again in the playoffs, to have that feel again for the fans, I think that means a lot to us, and I think that's what we've shown tonight.
Appreciate it, Dennis.
All right, thanks.
Lakers trio, we mentioned Dennis Schroeder and what he did in game number 2 when the Lakers got their first win of the series, going off for 24. He had 14 in that second quarter when the Lakers were kind of floundering offensively. Guys, he backs it up again this evening. 2 huge buckets down the stretch to kind of keep that cushion for the Lakers when the Suns were making that big-time run. He goes for 20 on 6 of 11, 4 assists. He's another guy that can take the ball at the end of the game, create and make it happen. LeBron James, I'm going to ask you guys a little later, maybe the best we've seen him since he's returned. 21 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists. The energy, especially in the second half, getting to the rack, getting the crowd involved, and AD playing through some obvious pain. In that third quarter, he was special. He had 18 of his 34, 11 of 22 from the field, and 11 rebounds. Back-to-back 30 and 10 games for AD. That's the first time it's happened since 2003 in a Laker uniform when Shaq did it. Pretty incredible when you think of that. I want to tell you guys this and let you jump in. We go to that third quarter. The Lakers were 33-23. in the advantage. LeBron and AD take over. They combine for 28 points. Rob, that's the most they've combined for in a quarter since becoming teammates.
Man, it was incredible. The things they were able to do and the energy they played with is what you want to see them play with every time out. But I know it's hard, but at least they knew it was time to come out in that third quarter, because we all know how important the start, that second half is. They came out and attacked. LeBron played with a lot of energy. AD was going to the hole. So many things happened in that third quarter. And you sit back and say, start every game like that, end every game like that. You want them to play with that energy and emotion. But I know it's hard sometimes to carry a team like that. But hey, this is the playoffs. That is your job. That is your role.
And when he's at the 5, he's down there a lot more often.
Exactly.
And he attacks, the catch and goes, the facilitating, the step back, the mid-range, it all starts to fall in place for him.
Yeah, I think the key is, Rob is right. You can't always start, like you want to. Opponents, they have defensive, plans against you. But I think recognition, and I think that's what they did at halftime. They had a meeting of the minds. You could tell immediately LeBron was not deferring anything. He did a good job of trying to get guys involved early. But that's what great leaders do. Somewhere throughout the game, they recognize when they're supposed to take over and how to do it. And I thought he and AD exemplified that in the third quarter.
Guys, I mentioned that defense because when you look at that second quarter and I think back, that game stayed tied for, it seemed like, 6 minutes. I mean, the Lakers were not scoring the basketball, but the Suns weren't either. And when you look at that quarter, the Lakers win it 16-12, and they go into halftime leading. That's the lowest point total combined in a playoff quarter for two teams since 2013 when the Hawks and Pacers did it. But that's your Laker defense for you. You can muck it up, you can make the game ugly, Rob, and then you come out in the third quarter and they're connected in all facets of the game. They're getting out in transition. Now they're starting to hit a couple threes. That's the first time maybe that you thought, okay, this is the Laker team that is defending a championship.
Oh, yeah, you go back to when AD and LeBron got hurt, how they were one of the top defensive teams in the NBA. And now everybody's back and fully healthy. This is what you can see when they put their mind to it. They go out and play an explosive team, the number 2 team in the West. Phoenix Suns, they have the best record in the NBA on the road. And so for you to lock this team now, put Devin Booker in check, have CP3 not a factor. I know his shoulder's hurt, but he still was a non-factor. But the only thing is, Ayton still got his points, but they shut down everybody else. Payne, Bridges, and all these other guys. It's always about, you can't shut everybody down, but you got to shut down the others, as a lot of people like to call them, not let them go above and beyond what they normally do. And that's what the Lakers did in that third quarter.
And let's also remember what we've been through the last month. We hadn't had guys together, collectively for a long time. No practice time. LeBron out. AD came back. Schroeder out. Kuz was out a couple games. So this is a team also in process of getting back to where they were maybe in the bubble last year. So each game, they're starting to get better and better. You see certain segments being taken care of, Drummond getting involved. You're seeing, Wes Matthews being very impactful. So this is a good sign that they are starting to peak at the right time and getting back to playing very consistent basketball. And I think that's a good sign right now in going into Game 4.
We're waiting to hear from AD in a moment, so I want to keep talking about him before I get to LeBron. 12 of 14 from the free throw line. You know the stat when he's getting there over 10 times, Rob. The Lakers are going to win most of the time. How special was that third quarter, the 18 points? Because we know he was in some pain, but he would not stop.
No, he wouldn't stop. We've known AD of the past. He has a little bumps and bruises. He might sit out for a minute, but he's like, no, I'm standing. I stand in the game because I am the leader of this team. We all know LeBron is king, but when AD is going to the free throw line, that's mean he's being forceful. He's going to the basket. He's trying to get to the free throw line. And that's the AD that we sit back and sometimes, this is the guy we want to see all year. It's okay to shoot free throws.
Played 40 minutes again. I mean, watching the game's the same thing in that Warriors playing game. He didn't come out. In the second half. I mean, he played that third quarter at that kind of energy, and there he is starting the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you got to play this game like this.
That's what the big-time players got to do.
You got 2 days off.
That's it.
Go out there and play hard.
All right, let's go back downtown. AD is now speaking with Mike in the media.
Hey, Anthony, you and LeBron spoke so often last year about not being able to play in front of Laker fans at a home game. Just wondered how the atmosphere tonight impacted you guys and if you drew some energy from that.
Staples Center was exactly what it needed to be. Once they get full capacity, it would be even louder, but that's what we wanted. We fed off the crowd tonight, especially during our runs. The crowd was loud and gave us some extra energy to make shots, to get some big plays defensively, and ultimately win the game. So, we definitely gonna need a game 4. Being as early game, some of us still might be a little asleep. It's not the normal routine. So I know they're gonna come in full effect and give us that energy that we need.
You had that awkward landing at the end of the second quarter, and then come in the third quarter, you score 18 of your points, Anthony. Just wondered how it felt and how you played through it and were able to be effective on offense.
It's the playoffs. It's rare that I'm going to come out of the game. We got 2 days in between, so we can get it, looked at and checked out. But landed awkwardly. Try not to fall on Book. And I guess it hyperextended a little bit, but just keeping it warm, keeping it loose, and just wanted to keep going. But it felt fine throughout the rest of the game. Really didn't have any problems with it. But like I said, it was all for adrenaline. So we'll see how I feel tomorrow, get some treatment, and get some treatment Saturday, and be ready to go Sunday.
AD, what impact did it have on you guys seeing LeBron get to the rim in the third quarter and kind of some of those plays where he was finishing through contact? Seemed like that really helped get you guys going and kind of break it open.
Yeah, he set the tone in the third quarter. He's feeling good. He told me he still got another gear. He said he still have another gear. So, we're finding our groove. We're finding our groove at the right time. But he set that tone for us, and guys followed his lead and started attacking, making shots. West came in huge, defensively and offensively for us, especially when Kenny went down. So AC, so guys stayed ready, but he came out with it on his mind to attack the basket and kind of get some separation in that third quarter, and guys kind of followed suit and was able to extend that lead. We still got to do a better job of finishing games and closing out games, but it was a good win for us. And like I said, it started with him in that third quarter to separate that lead, and it's on us to do the same.
Dan Wookie.
Eddie, what did you make of the Booker foul on Dennis, and did you sense kind of Phoenix's frustration maybe with your guys' physicality down the stretch?
Yeah, it was a physical game, all game. Guys chirping, me, Jay, Jay Braun, Dennis Book, Aiden had some words, but that's playoff basketball. Guys going to chirp, guys going to talk. But we can't allow plays like that to happen, just to push a guy out there, two hands. Whether it was out of frustration or not, it's a scary play. And luckily Dennis is all right, but sometimes it could end badly for a player. So we don't want to let the chirping lead to something like that. And that's all I gotta say on that.
Dave McMenamin.
AD, was this the best you guys have looked all season long when you made that push, particularly the way you guys were getting stops? LeBron was attacking the rim. Your shots were falling all over the court. That stretch, what did that mean for this group?
Yeah, that's how we want to play. Get stops and run. We did look good in the beginning of the year too. Today, we just had some injuries where we looked. Some games where we look bad, but that's how we want to play. That's how we want to play. We want to get stops and run and play fast. We did that. Especially in that third quarter, and that's the way it's going to have to be for us to win basketball games. Play our style, and no matter who we're playing against, we can't allow the other team to take us out of our game plan and our rhythm and the style that we want to play. If we play the way we played, then we put ourselves in a good position to win every game.
Calgon.
Hey, D, obviously you got a ton of looks at the rim today. How much of that adjustment was the way you played? How much of that was your teammates looking for you?
It's a combination of both. I mean, just being aggressive opens up the floor for my teammates, and when these guys are making shots and making plays, then it opens up the floor for me. So it's a combination of both. I think everyone is just being aggressive and looking to get in the paint and find guys, and also making plays for themselves. And when we all playing that way, we're a tough team to beat. I think a lot of game one, some of game two as well, we were passing up shots, overpassing, and that's a couple shot clock violations, and late clock shots, which we consider bad shots. So today, guys was very aggressive and looking to attack or score the basketball.
We'll take two more. Mark Medina.
Hey, dude, to follow up on your point about, keeping your leg warm and riding the adrenaline, was there a turning point for you where you felt like, okay, like I'm going to get this from, the discomfort you felt in the second quarter, halftime, to when you took the court in the third?
Like I said, coming out of half, had a heat pack on it the whole time, and like I said, it felt fine. A little discomfort, but not enough to keep me out. And I just didn't think about it. I just kept playing. And just said, in my mind, I got 2 days to get it right. So leave it all on the floor and fight through it. And after the first couple minutes of the third, I didn't even think about it, and was able to just go out there and just play.
Last question, Rashawn Haylock.
Hey, Anthony, the other day you talked about, a while back, just watching and being able to see the electricity and buzz inside Staples Center surrounding for a playoff game. How did that perception kind of compare to the reality when you stepping out on the floor tonight?
Like I said, it felt great to play in front of fans, playoff games since, how long has it been? It's been a while, like some years. So it was good for us. It was good for us, good for our team. And we just can only imagine how it'll be, when it's 20,000 in here. I think they had like 7,500 or something like that. So, and it was still loud, still electric. So when we're able to get the whole stadium in here, all the fans in here supporting us and screaming and yelling, I know it's gonna be even better. But we still got that electric crowd that we needed.
Good there, AD. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
The Brow returns. Game one, 13 points, 5 of 16, 7 rebounds. It tied the lowest point total in his playoff career, but he has responded. Games 2 and 3, he's now averaging 34 points, 49% from the field, 15 free throws made, 10.5 rebounds, and 3.5 assists. That's called home crowd gets to watch a playoff game at Staples Center, which is real nice. 109-95. Anthony Davis, 34 points on 11 of 22, 11 rebounds. LeBron James, 21, 6 and 9. Dennis Schroeder gets 20. Lakers' third quarter scoring was 33-23, the plus 10 that opened the game up. Points in the paint, how about that? 58-38. Pretty nice. Let's hear from Frank Vogel. He's speaking with Mike in the media. Vogel.
Hey, Frank, with about 5 minutes left, it was 95-77. And just wanted to ask you about the defense, what you thought was most effective in frustrating Phoenix or holding up some difficult shots.
Well, you said it right there. I mean, we want to make everything difficult. And, obviously this is a high-powered offense. One of the best offenses in the league over the last 15, 20 games. I think #1 rated over the last 15, 20 games. And, our guys are just competing. We have a scheme in place to try to make things difficult for them and, limit certain things. And, it's not always perfect, but our guys are playing so hard. They're playing with that playoff intensity, that worked for us last year. And, we were, quite frankly, terrible offensively in the first half, not doing anything that worked for us in game 2. We just didn't do it in the first half, and our defense kept us in it. So that's part of our identity, and hopefully we can minimize the stretches like we had in the first half offensively.
Frank, LeBron didn't take many shots in the first half. Seemed like he was spraying the ball out to open shooters. It wasn't going in. What did you make of his third quarter and just attacking the basket and how that impacted the game?
Yeah, he changed the whole game. His mindset just reversed the whole course of tonight's game. Wanting to get to the rim, and honestly, like our whole group did. like AD, even though he had, was dinged up with his knee and was a little bit hobbled, really committed to what worked for us in game 2, which is really running the floor, being the first big down, putting pressure on their transition defense, and that opened up a lot of driving lanes for Braun, who mentally made the decision, to get downhill and just live in the paint and live at the rim, and he was dominant during that stretch, and those two guys really reversed the whole course of the game.
Al Goon.
Frank, there were those possessions in the fourth quarter with LeBron where he had the ball and the fans were standing up and cheering just in anticipation, and he was really seeming to milk it a little bit. What does that tell you as a coach when obviously you guys had the lead and are trying to win, but LeBron seems to be enjoying some of those sequences and kind of carefree?
Well, it just shows how much we miss normalcy. We played that whole season in the whole postseason in the bubble last year. Played most of this season without any fans, or just a few fans, and we're still not there yet. But he's a showman. He's a performer. He loves performing in front of these great Lakers fans, and to have our first playoff game in front of these fans was amazing. We don't have the capacity that we want yet, but our fans tonight were super loud. And kudos to those guys. They really gave us energy throughout the game, and in particular with what you're talking about with LeBron, just putting on a show for these guys.
Frank, you guys went through all the ups and downs last year as well as this year. How important is it, or that's the way you guys kept your poise in this game when you have injuries and you have individual battles and you have moments where a team could lose its composure? How important was it, and will it be going forward to kind of be able to reap the benefits of having been battle tested over the last couple of years?
Well, it's huge. I mean, that's what it's about, winning the playoffs. You're going to have stretches where the other team takes you out of what you're trying to do, and where you're not playing at your best. But if you play as hard as we play, the last couple games, and that's part of our identity. You're going to have a chance to stay in the game with your defense, and you just have to have that poise and composure when things aren't quite going your way, and have the ability to just like I said at halftime, let's just have a reset. Let's settle back into who we are, and keep the defense performing at a high level, and we were able to turn the game around.
Dave McMenamin.
Frank, AD battled through so much last season injury-wise. This year, the right leg got the better of him for those 30 games. What does it mean for the group when he was clearly shaken up on that chase down block on Devin, but he pushes through? I don't think he even subbed out at all following the play, and obviously was big in the second half.
Yeah, just a lot of guts, man. Just a gutsy, tough performance from a great player, and we needed it. We needed him to stay in there to get this W. He knew that. He was going to do whatever it took for us to get this W, and to play through pain, to play through. I mean, he's limping up and down the floor a few times. Where we're talking to the staff and the medical team, like, maybe we got to get him out. And they're saying he's good to go. It's safe. It's just about playing through pain, and just a tough performance by AD.
Mark Medina.
Now, Frank, to follow up what Dave was asking and the point you made, what were those conversations like, if any, with AD about when, hey, do you want to sit out for the rest of the game or even just a little bit?
He didn't want to come out of the game. I kept telling him, at any point you get a little gassed, I got a sub for you, okay, and we'll get you back in when we need to. I think he asked for it at some point midway through the fourth, just to get a quick blow. But in terms of the third quarter, where I had the most concern, where he was limping pretty heavily, I just had several different moments with our training staff saying, it feels like we got to get him out, and they're like, no, he's good to go and he wants to stay, and it's just about playing through pain. So so we let him rock, and obviously he delivered a great performance for us.
We've got time for two more. Michael Duarte.
Yeah, Frank, another tough shooting night from the perimeter, but yet you guys dominated the paint. I remember what your mantra was in the bubble last year about winning the paint. So what is your stance on the shooting, and when it does fall, just how good can this team be when those shots start to fall?
Well, that's when we're dominant. You know, when we're making 15, 17, 18 threes, you know, and you know, like I said, like, you know, we have enough to win even when the shots aren't falling. You know, that's what our culture is built around. And, you know, when we are knocking down threes, which that will come, we're going to be awful tough to beat.
Last question, Barry Bloom.
Hey, Frank, getting back to the crowd and the situation, how much of a sense of history do you get to the fact that this was the first Laker playoff game and the first win in this building since 2013, and now you're looking ahead to playing in this building, not you personally, I won't be around, but till 2041?
Oh, you're talking about the extension?
Well, and the history of the recent years, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, to me it was this group's first opportunity to play a playoff game in front of these great fans. And like I said, like, we're really yearning for full capacity or close to full capacity. But to be able to deliver a victory, you know, there's nothing like winning in the playoffs, you know, for sports fans. And, you know, to be able to deliver that in front of those guys is a great source of pride. And, you know, we look forward to being in this building for years to come.
Do you get any sense of your own place in Laker history at this point?
Not at all.
There's some great coaches here who you follow who have won championships.
I'm just trying to do the best I can and win as many games as we can and give this team an opportunity to win another championship. You know, all that time for perspective is down the road.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we bring in our good friend Allie Clifton. What's going on, Allie?
I know you guys have talked about it, and I'm someone that continues to talk about it and will. How impressive the defense has been. I got 2 points. That's my main one. I think we hear this squad say a lot. We just heard Frank say it, and dating back to last season, and it ultimately came to fruition. When the offense isn't there, and it hasn't been, it's been a bit up and down, if you will. They believe in the law of averages. They believe in the work that they put in. But through that all, the one constant has been defensively. And I looked up some numbers through 3 against a Phoenix team who is potent offensively, top 10 through 72 regular season games, can score the basketball. The Lakers finished the #1 defensive rated team at just under 107 a game, holding their opponents. Through 3 games here in the postseason, they've held Phoenix to 99 points. And I think when you look at that first half, and you guys discussed it at halftime as well, to only put up 43 and know you're up 3, that's impressive. And I think you can look to my second point, guys who are coming in and fulfilling the roles, the opportunities. Kyle Kuzma, Wes Matthews, especially on nights like tonight. Kuz, 0 points in game 1, just 2 in game 2. Game 3, 8 points, 10 boards, 3 assists. Wes Matthews taking on the challenge defensively, but also making the timely shots. I just think you're seeing it all around. Then you have to give the love to guys like Keefe, Duds, Treads, who aren't getting a lot of run, who aren't getting run, but yet they're there, they're in their players' ears, their teammates' ears. I just think there's a lot of trickle-down effect that's starting to really show face from a squad all season who many people wondered if they could figure it out.
Yeah, I think you bring up some great points, Allie, and that's something that jumped out at me when I was watching that game and the team was starting to get rolling and you heard the crowd. It was really, I don't know, the first time they were like, okay, the playoffs are here, they're at home, and you saw every guy, whether you're playing or not, James, engaged and together. And that's a sign of a championship team.
That's the characteristic of a championship team. You like each other sincerely, and you monitor each other constructively, and everybody's willing to take criticism and work from there. You can tell that when guys like Morris and Trez and even Marc Gasol, who you know, is playing, and all of a sudden you don't get playing time. They all can see the big picture at the end of the tunnel is a championship. So their defense, constant throughout the season. Even when LeBron, AD were out, they were losing games, but their defense still was pretty darn good. So that's something that has remained. This is a team that's finally getting everybody back together. Finally, guys are getting back to their original roles. So I think they're still peaking each game. You're seeing it in these games with Phoenix, how they're disallowing points and playing good defense. I think the more they play in the playoffs, the more they're going to get back to their normal continuity and the way they normally like to play from last year, getting everybody back healthy. That's a good sign.
I think, we give a lot of credit to the players, too. We need to give credit to the coaching staff, too, because when you have that line of communication with your team, telling them, hey, this is how we're going to run it, this is how we're going to play, that you respect that as a player. You don't want anything hidden from you. You don't lies told you. And I think with Vogel and that staff, they're up front with those guys. Say, hey, when we have a matchup that I like, this is how we're going to roll. And the guys, they accept that. Yeah. And this is a true team. They understand that there's a higher goal and there's a higher purpose than just me and what I can do. It's about what we can do, and that's put another trophy in that window.
Well said by all you guys. Allie, quickly, the king is back, LeBron James. What did you see in that third quarter? Oh. You see Dudley saying the king is back. Just, Allie going down north-south, more downhill through traffic. Contact.
I think that's what you do, Geeter, and I said that to you. It was awesome to see because I think we're all watching him very closely. But I just think knowing and understanding where AD was health-wise, what he was trying to figure out with his leg and understanding, okay, now it's my turn. I got to take over. AD's got to figure this out. AD's got to work it back. He's got to feel that leg and feel strong with it. But I think his ability to take control in that moment and recognize that was key, which, by the way, I'm going to continue to track Anthony Davis in the free throw line throughout this entire postseason run. They're now 25-4. He only, for all things purple and gold, it's the Lake Show podcast. It is the helpful Honda assist of the game. Lakers getting out running in the third quarter. Dennis Schroeder throws the oop to AD. The Brow finishes with 34-11 as the Lakers take a 2-1 lead.
Every time I see that, I just get a kick out of LeBron. LeBron hit the boosters, put the finger up, and he went the other way. But AD says, not tonight, LeBron. This is my alley with the oop.
LeBron was a good decoy. You got to listen to LeBron as a decoy sometimes.
I know.
KCP left the game with a left leg injury. He's now speaking with press.
Hey, KCP. The first question, how are you physically? Obviously, you left that game, and we just want to know how you're doing. I'm doing well. A little sore, but I'm doing well. I got 2 days, rest, recovery. I hope I'm ready to go Sunday. Big win for you guys back at home. What was it like playing in front of all those fans? It's been years since the Lakers had a home playoff game. It felt good. The first two games in Phoenix, it was loud, and you could just feel the crowd that was like the crowd was on top of you. But just being back home, where the fans showing you love, and the energy is through the roof. We felt that tonight, and it kind of it just felt good just to be around the fans. Anthony Davis and LeBron really kind of took over that game in the third quarter, scored 28 points between the two of them. How important is that for them to kind of assert themselves? And what was a pretty close game at the half? It's very important. We run, most of our stuff through them guys, just to see them get a good rhythm, and scoring the ball like they're scoring, it's good for us, and as far as like the other players, just be ready, shoot the ball. We got to continue to get better with our three-pointers, and just playing off them guys as much as possible. Thank you. And please.
Hey, KCP. So what happened on that play? It looked like maybe just a knee from Booker, and then I guess kind of describe what you were feeling, trying to back up the court. And then obviously we saw you kind of emotionally switch to the locker room and behind the basket as well.
No, as me, coming off the pick and roll, with him, the kind of hostage situation. He tried to hostage me. He kind of like backed into my leg and then hyperextended a little bit. Other than that, that was all that happened, and I felt immediately pain when he bumped me and hyperextended, and it was painful enough where I couldn't finish the game.
Was it your knee? Is that what hyperextended? And then did they? Do you think you're going to get an X-ray or MRI or any of that stuff?
Don't know. We're going to see tomorrow when I wake up. How I'm feeling. Go from there. But yeah, it did hyperextend it once he. It was the knee. Once he when he backed into me, it hyperextended the knee a little bit.
Let's look at Devin Booker here. Outstanding in game 1. Lakers doing a nice job on him. A lot of that has to do with KCP, guys. Just 6 of 19, 19 points. 1 of 4 from 3, 6 of 7 from the free throw line. 32.5 points, 47% from the field in the first 2 games. So much better job defensively. And as I mentioned, KCP, great work.
Great work. I'm really liking the defensive scheme that they're doing on Booker. They're guarding him from once he crossed half court. They forced him to his right. I know most shooters like going left to get his shot off, but they're forcing him right. And then they're not trying to put a big on him. They're trying to some way get another small to him or trap him if it's a big. And the thing about that is he's been finding Ayton on that role, and now they find a way to kind of stop Ayton in that second half. So I'm excited how they figured him out, and hopefully they can continue to figure him out.
And you got to credit Frank and that staff. They've been so great over the last year and a half, James, when it comes to adjustments defensively in the playoffs, especially with lead guards like a guy like Booker.
Yeah, and it's difficult to go from team to team, player to player. Coach Vogel came in here defensive minded. They bought into the philosophy. But we always have to remember, there's 2 other head coaches over there. We had a big asset over there, Lionel and also Jay Kidd. So there's a plethora of knowledge and defensive schemes that he has to pull from. And I think tonight, they really did frustrate Booker. He was frustrated. He couldn't get anything going in the second half, not a shot nor a pass. And I think we saw his frustration getting the technical foul and thrown out of the game.
Are you concerned a little bit with KCP, especially, the physical toll, the ability to cut, chase guys like Booker and whomever you're going to face in the playoffs if you continue? Are you concerned at all, Ross?
I'm very concerned because KCP quietly is one of our best defenders. And right there you see how his leg goes back and he tried to stop and hyperextends, and we need him. I know a lot of people want to look at what he does offensively, but I don't care about that. You're doing an A+ job guarding the 2 guards, guarding the point guard, whoever you have to guard. And to me, you have a role. Everybody has a role. AD has a role to score. LeBron has a role to score. But I think for KCP, his role is to try to be a lockdown defender on their best scoring 2 guard.
I want to talk Chris Paul, James. I read on social media heading into the game that he was feeling better. And the way he came out, his first couple shots, definitely had that kind of feisty attitude that he has where he's getting his hands in the passing lane, a little more physicality. And you thought, oh, maybe he's turned the corner with that injury. But I don't know if it was the spill or whatever, but second half, he looked to be hurting again.
A lot of times it's easier to start with the injury. You're mentally ready. You can play through it until it gets tapped, until it gets hit or something, or until it's really tested on a pass, or maybe he has to open that shoulder up or something, make a pass, and then you tweak it again, and then it's nagging. I saw one time on his shot, on a free throw, you could tell that it was bothering him at a certain point when he got it up. And the second shot, he had made an adjustment, and he shot a little jump shot at the free throw. And that's when I knew that shoulder was kind of nagging him a little bit.
It's weird how you have that shoulder injury. It could be just someone could just tap you on your shoulder and say, good job.
Yeah.
And then the nerve goes crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy because the first 2 shots had some mark on it. But ever since that, you saw those line drives starting again. You just can't get that lift. All right, more to come on Access. AD and the Lakers take a 2-1 advantage.